All right, mic check 1 2. Certainly hope everything is doing well in your parts of the world. And I am just here. I am on fire today. I mean, I got woke up horribly. You know, something bad happened. We'll go into that as the podcast progresses. But welcome to the Gaming Nation, which is the Porchlight Podcast, where we cover just pretty much gaming on this side of the coin, and because the other side of the coin, much more red pill, more manosphere stuff. I did a political talk yesterday, a little bit after it was later than I thought it was going to be. Shout out to BGS and everybody who shared the video. Certainly hope that he and his family are doing well. The master teacher. Shout out to the Passport Brothers who I've got my passport. I didn't know I was part of the Passport Brothers, but yeah, every man should get a passport and at one point travel. I don't care if you just go out of the country once a year. I know this year we're going to this year 23 we're going to the Canadian Rockies, and then going back to the Bahamas. That's the plan right now. So have to wait and see how it goes. But I've been trying to go to the Canadian Rockies. But the pandemic hit, and when the pandemic hit, we couldn't go nowhere because I'm a first responder, right? And so I was just, they were working us like, I mean, we got a lot of good stuff too. Let me make that clear. I don't make it say it was all doom and gloom, but they worked us hard. So, but that's what we got trained to do, and you know, it was just mentally it just wore us out. So that's why the attrition is so high right now, because people just are tired of it, you know. But anyway, we're getting back to, we got some topics to go over today. Okay. We got the rumor of Sony buying Cdprojectred, which is trash. That is a One of the worst rumors I ever heard in my life. We got the Xbox hypocrisy with Xbox going up in price after the holidays. Again, I'll just start right there. The outright hypocrisy of some of these fanboys. And first things first, Phil Spencer never said Game Pass was going up. That's an assumption the Game Pass is going up. And then we'll talk about the Sony and their hypocrisy. It is so bad what happened to me today. It was so I am so mad right now. I'm on fire about it. So I got to take Sony to task. You know, I'll be doing stuff on camera because you're not gonna believe what they did. You see the anti-consumerism. I'm just gonna have to eat some crow on it because all these people were right about them, and I was sitting up here saying they weren't. So, but we'll get to it. We'll get to that here shortly. And it's a story, and I guarantee you better get your ice cream, get your popcorn, you get your cornflakes. I don't know what you got to do. Go put the kids out of the house though, because I am going plumb off when I get to that point. So, but we'll start with the Cdproject Red rumor, which is complete trash. I don't know where this came from, but it's not true. I mean, I'm letting everybody know that rumor is it's a rumor. So, and I would have saved this till Sunday, but I'll be watching NFL, my fantasy football team. Part of them played last night. I have Baltimore's defense. They played against Tom Brady. I haven't looked at their score yet. I know it was over 22 points though. They got me, but because I'm in first place, I won last week. I did start the Bengals. I started Joe Burrow, and he threw for 300 plus yards, I think, and 4 touchdowns. Jamar Chase is hurt, got some type of hip fracture. So if you play Madden, let me make this clear: if you play Madden and you use up-to-date rosters, that he will be on injured reserve. They will pull him off. So you have to go, just keep it. You can keep it. You can play, but play with an offline roster, or you can just start your season over and go at it like that. It'll give you a real roster. But as soon as that happened, I'm like, oh God, I'm playing Madden and Jamar Chase for me this year alone. And I'm just up to the New York Jets game. I think he already had 5 touchdown passes thrown to him because it's like a cheat code. You know, having him and T. Higgins out there at the same time, just running 9 routes is a cheat code for me. So, but anyway, the whole thing, that is a rumor. It's a nice rumor, but it is a rumor. And I think part of it is that, one, because you all got to remember, first, 2 things. Sony kicked Cdproject Red's game off their platform because of the quality. Because of the quality. They didn't like what, and Microsoft kept it on there. Now, there were 2 reasons Microsoft didn't boot it off. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest. One is Microsoft had a deal with them. They had the marketing deal with Cyberpunk. They also had it with The Witcher. And what that should tell you is simply, what that tells you is that Sony is not close to Cdproject Red. All right, that's what it tells you. Microsoft is. They've gone to Microsoft for back-to-back major marketing deals. So if anybody is going to buy Cdproject Red, it will be Microsoft. Now, does this mean that Sony didn't approach them a while ago or something like that? The answer to that is possibly. But has there already been a purchase? No, but they will always talk to Sony and Microsoft about a purchase because they like to flex their own muscles. Like, oh, what would that look like? How would that be? That's the way this stuff starts. Purchases take a long time. People think that Sony went into Bungie with a bag of cash and some champagne beer and said, here's a bag of cash, we got some beer, sign. It took them over 8.5 months to get all the logistics down for this. And number 2, Cdproject Red is not for sale. They're not. And number 3, they're much closer to Microsoft. I mean, you all have to really understand that. Sony and Cdproject Red, even the Witcher game, remember when the Witcher game got an upgrade last generation? Remember it got an upgrade, right? they did it with Microsoft first, and then it took them getting a hurricane warning for them to go ahead and hit the button for Sony, because they weren't going to do it. All right, so because they're closer to Microsoft than they are to Sony. So shout out to Porter Rock. That's my man, 50 grand. Okay, that's my brother from another mother. But he was talking about he wants his flowers, bro. I can't give them to you because this is just too big of a rumor. So I mean, again, it is horrible. Now if he wants to say, and anybody wants to say, well, maybe they've chatted them up, that is more than likely true, but not a purchase. That is a bald-faced rumor, and I understand why Sony would do it, because Sony probably looks at Cyberpunk, and you got to understand, Sony makes movies and TV shows. So Sony may be looking at Cyberpunk and say, well, this would be a cool TV show, like a long-form TV show. What's up, Nova Red? How you doing there, young lady? You all have to think about it like that. You have to stop always thinking, well, Sony's buying a gaming studio. Sony makes movies and TV shows. And if let me make this clear, if Cdprojectred were to be purchased, and there's already a Witcher TV show, it's on Netflix. All right, there's already a Witcher TV show. So that's already, and that is actually pretty good. Now, I haven't watched the second season because Netflix went up to like $18 a month, and they can F that bull-ish, okay? I mean, they are full of it. Think I'm going to pay for $18 for a streaming service. No way. I didn't like Disney going up, but at least they gave me Hulu, Disney, and ESPN Plus or something like that. ESPN something that I could watch. But, that's 3 things. So I break that. Hey, each one costs about $3.99 each. I'm getting a good deal. I also have Peacock, because this woman likes her Chicago, what's it called? One Chicago series. He loves that. I mean, good God almighty. He'll be wanting to watch that tomorrow. So, and I'll be at work. So I'm like, have at it. You can, but you know what? She can't watch it because she don't know how to work my new TV yet. Well, you need to show me how to work this TV. I'm like, I'm still learning how to work the damn TV. She's going to have to watch that somewhere else. Or she can just come over here Sunday. Maybe Sunday, because, the McRib is coming back on Monday. And at least that's what I was told. So I'm excited about that. But, guys, you got to really understand how things really work here. Sony ain't buying no Cdprojectred. If there's anything overseas in that area of the world Sony wants, it's Remedy. Sony and Remedy make much more sense than Sony and Cdprojectred. But I will say this, Sony buying Cdprojectred would be more to make, they would take over production of The Witcher, and they would maybe make a Cyberpunk show. I mean, that's one thing, people, you gotta start looking at it through that lens. I don't get it. Sony makes movies and TV shows. They make the Top Gun movie you all went to go see, Top Gun Maverick. That was filmed on Sony's 6K cameras. Sony had to put cameras in those planes, those F-18s. So, and then Sony had to go get permission from the Pentagon to make sure they could put the cameras in the planes, and the pilots still, because they didn't fly those planes, right? It is illegal for civilians to operate military aircraft. Now, I'm not going to tell you that you can't go on YouTube and see YouTubers and different people flying with the Blue Angels and things like that, but they're not operating the aircraft, and maybe they may let them turn or something like that. So technically, I guess you can, but you can't fly a military aircraft. Okay, you don't get trained to do it. But I have seen some people go up in like an F-16 and they flew around, and then they actually painted a target, and they launched a missile, and the missile blew the plane up, the drone up out of the sky. So I've seen them do that on TV, but overall, you can't operate a military aircraft. I would have done it already. Hey, trust me, I would have tried to do it already. But so this is a faux rumor. You could put this with fake 4K, and fake HDR. This ain't happening. If it does, it will come out of Sony Motion Pictures. They may pick up Red. in order to make a cyberpunk type of TV show. And that deal would look exactly like the Bungie deal. Okay, so don't get your panties in a wad. They're not, again, you're not going to buy a publisher that publishes games to all consoles and PC and then not say, hey, look, you know, we're going to pull this off of stuff. That's why Sony is fighting with Microsoft right now. It's not that Microsoft wants to buy Activision. That's not the problem. The problem is that Microsoft wants to pull a major intellectual property that's already been on PlayStation, and Sony let them do it. They didn't talk about Bethesda, and that was Fallout. That is Elder Scrolls. That is, that whole entire series. That's gone. That will no longer be on PlayStation. But Sony ate that. Sony took that up. They bent over and took it. They're not going to take the Call of Duty thing. Hey, you buy? No. And that they actually have used the fact that Microsoft pulled Elder Scrolls and Starfield and Outer Worlds 2, whatever, off of their platform in this case. So it's being used against them, against Microsoft. So, but this is a rumor, and so it's a juicy one. But if this was Cdproject Red, this was Sony and Remedy, that actually makes more sense than Red. Okay, it just does. Sony does not have a close tie relationship with Cdproject Red at all. They have a better one with Remedy, and Remedy actually makes more sense because Remedy makes Western single-player games. So, again, I don't have an issue with the rumor. It is a rumor. I would have waited till Sunday, but this one was too juicy. I got a ton of emails on it. Shout out for the people sending me the emails, by the way. That's what I want you to do. And since I had time now and I was man on fire, okay, I was the man on fire at this point right now because of what happened to me this morning. I had to deal with it, so I wanted to come online and shout out to everybody that's here now. Hit that like button, share the care. Even if you want to send a dono, you can. It goes to the RAM I'm trying to buy. I'm trying to buy, what did Jemiah Dixon send me? Jemiah sent me something that I can't afford. So yes, the dono war is on now. It's like $100, and I want some RAM that lights up. I have no idea how to put that on. So now it says it's a good time. You all need to hit the like button. I'm gonna insert an ad. I mean, you all are tripping. So I'm gonna insert an ad if those likes don't go up. The likes and shares better be going up, or I'm inserting an ad. So you all got 10 seconds, or there will be an ad going in. So, but I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna find that fella and whoever started this rumor, because this is not true. And I know you all maybe got up and maybe maybe one shake of that. Remember, it's only one shake of that wang, and because more than one shake of the wang constitutes pleasure. And I'm not in the business of giving you pleasure. I'm going to tell you the truth because what the hell else am I going to do, right? You come here to me, say, hear the truth. And again, I'm going to give you the truth because a whole bunch of you all can go watch and do something else. Okay, it's Friday, it's the afternoon, happy hour is about to start. The stock market is up. My stocks are doing very well because I listen to the right people. Shout out to One Master Teacher. So you should have bought AMD stock. That's all I can tell you. Okay, the market is up. Even you should have stock in Sony as well. All right, you should have stock in Sony. You should have stock in Microsoft and AMD. You better figure out a way to work that out. Sony stock is only like $60-$70, if that. So that's per share. But again, this Sony has allegedly approached Red multiple times for possible acquisition. It's a rumor. So the rumor has little backing, but companies are always talking about acquisitions. Microsoft and Sony are in a war to acquire as many studios as possible. So this right here is true, and everything else here is just a big ass rumor. So, and again, if something were to come out, think about it. Okay, I'm gonna name 3 studios, and I want you to type in what makes more sense. Cdproject Red and Sony, WB Games and Sony, Remedy and Sony. which one sits in your lap the easiest? Okay? Which one do you need to go up there and tip and make it rain on? Because I'm telling you, Warner Brother games or Warner games make more sense than Cdprojectred Red. They got more IP. Okay, I guess it would be what, Rocksteady or something. They would just have to buy Warner games. All right, and then you would have Harry Potter. You would have whatever else Warner makes. I'm not sure because I'm not. I guess it's WB. Don't they make The Witcher? So you see how that works. Why buy Cdprojected Red, or does WB distribute the game? You see what I'm saying? It's something like that. I think there's a WB on the side of the Witcher box. I cannot. It's been such a long time. But if Sony's going to do anything, they'll buy Warner. Why buy the studio here when you can own the parent company? But again, that's my opinion on that. Also, I have seen Wakanda Forever, and I recommend everybody go see that. I'm under NDA. There are certain things that are online that have been leaked. They're not leaked. They're officially from the Marvel page. They've let some things come out, and the movie's good. Movie's good. So it's good and it's funny. What did that Okoye say to Riri Williams? You can come to Wakanda two ways, conscious or unconscious. That was a great line. But yeah, go check that out. Go check that out. Feature's right. This is a dumb rumor. Shout out the rumor. Lincoln Clay, Mass Effect. Lincoln Clay, I'm telling you, I think Lincoln Clay needs to go in and stream Mass Effect from stem to stern. Oh, Brigadier William Wildebeest, how you doing over there in that beautiful country over there? So, Remedy and WB games for Sony, David Schmidt. To me, WB makes more sense than Red, and so does Remedy. That's just, I don't get where it comes from. So, like I said, there's a bunch of, it's a good rumor though. This is one of the best rumors this year. So, this is one of the best rumors this year. So, but we will move on. Does anybody have any questions about this? Like, I would be shocked. I mean, I shouldn't say shocked. Nothing really shocks me anymore. I would be very, 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 very surprised if I woke up in 3 weeks and they say Sony has acquired Cdprojected Red. I wouldn't be shocked if they acquired Warner Brother games. All right, because Warner Brothers had that huge shakeup over there. I guess you all saw where not J.J. Abrams, the guy that directs, I see his face. He directs Guardians of the Galaxy, directs and produces it. He now is in charge of Warner Brothers films. He's in charge of the DCEU. So, damn, I can't think of his. Capcom, again, you all got to understand. All right, because I'm on fire. Let me calm down. Let me take a swig here. Capcom is a major publisher. If Sony were to buy them, what do they get? Because I think what you guys want, and this is what I'm sensing, is for them to buy a publisher and then pull their games off of the Xbox. And if that's what you're wanting, that's not going to happen. Okay? That's not going to happen. So, because it's too hard to get that stuff approved. Capcom's been putting games on Xbox for longer than some of you all have been born. I mean, how many of you all played Code Veronica X on the OG Xbox? That's what it was called, Code Veronica X. I think that was the first Resident Evil game that went to the Xbox. That's been over 20 years. Hold on. Alexa, what is the video game Code Veronica X? Uh-oh. Okay. Thank you. That game is over 20 years old. Some of you aren't that old. Okay? So they're not going to sit up there. And Microsoft could go up there and say, no, we've had Resident Evil on our platform for 20 years. So there ain't going to be no, now, I mean, that's what, I mean, so if that's what you all want, it's not going to happen. even if Sony buys Square Enix, let's just say Sony has bought Square Enix. That and the deal's not done yet. All right. It is Square Enix who is pulling their games off of the Xbox platform. Sony didn't buy them and say we're pulling all your games. Square Enix has made a decision at some point at the higher up level, executive level, and said they're not buying our games, we're pulling our games. But you all got to, Microsoft has to pull games, and you see why they're having to pull games, because they're not meeting the expectations that they have put out. So we'll just move into that. Let me take this down because it's getting on my nerves. So you have this report of the Xbox raising prices, which they're going to do, okay? And they're following Sony. Remember, Microsoft does not lead in anything. Sony went out there and said, we're putting the price for our Xbox up in different places around the world. We're not going to do it in North America. And the damn console's still selling. And you had people yelling, oh, Sony's doing this. Sony's being greedy. Sony doesn't have to do this. Sony doesn't care about the gamer. Even this word, Sony is being anti-consumer by raising the prices. Okay? And these are the same people who got mad that they didn't get a God of War code. All right, I want you to understand that hypocrisy right there of these content creators. If you're going to sit down and run my company that I own into the ground so that you can go ahead and do like porch dance like a damn lawn jockey in front of people, I'm not going to send you nothing but a can of whoop ass. So, and everybody knows the people I'm talking about. So, I mean, it is ridiculous at this point. So, see here. Yep, increasing pricing. Now, at no point did Phil Spencer say that that Game Pass was going up. At no point did Phil Spencer say that. He just said that some things are going to be going up, and they are. Now, Phil Spencer, they could compete. They could raise the price of Xbox Game Pass on PC. They could raise the price up of some of their hardware, which that's what I think is more than likely going to happen. I think the first thing that's going to go up is the Series S. Okay? So, again, they're just not going to do it during the holidays. And that, to me, that's like being told that, well, we're going to, you got the death penalty. We're going to kill you January 18th. We just not going to do it during the holidays, right? Because, you know, it's the holidays. So they're waiting for the inevitable at this point. And remember, this is the same group of people who were saying that Sony's anti-consumer, Sony's doing this, Sony's doing that. Sony doesn't care. It's a bit, you know, Sony, you know, they don't care about the gamers. I mean, we could pull a whole bunch of YouTube videos from Yang Ye to Rich Review Tech. Oh, Sony doesn't care. Sony, you know, we can do that. The consumers are mad at Sony. You know, you remember those podcasts, right? And like I said I said it then and I'll say it now. Yesterday's price ain't today's price. And I said that multiple times. I said it on 60 Frames No Lag. I've said it here. I don't get why you all think that you should be able to participate. I think that's a lot of the problem is a lot of people have a sense of entitlement and that Microsoft and Sony are supposed to make it easy for us to buy. Now, I understand if you want something and you can't get it, how frustrating that is. You're a consumer. You have the right to be frustrated when there's products you want and you can't get your hands on them. But that has nothing to do with pricing. You know, the price is the price. The price is the price. So it's like that BMW that costs $80,000, or the M8 or the M3, something like that. Like $80,000. I would love that car. Can't afford it. The price is the price. It's not BMW's fault I can't afford their car. It's not meant for me to buy their car. I mean, that's the way it is, right? So we've already seen unprecedented. Yeah, I remember when this happened. You know, Europe to Japan to Australia, prices went up. This was in August, this was right after my birthday. And people were going nuts. All this bull crap, you know, anger. And what's crazy is that these guys damage control for Microsoft doing it. You know, oh, Microsoft, you know, it's because, you know, they got Game Pass and they can't help it. And they're trying to make it easier for you to consume it and do things. I mean, it was ridiculous, you know, instead of just saying, look, this sucks. And it does suck if you're. I mean, you need to, if whatever Microsoft has, whether it's a headset, whether it is the extra RAM or whatever the SSD or something like that, that could all go up in January, February. So it's going to happen. Now, how much is it going to go up? I don't know. We can sit up here and guess. I think the Series S and X do go up in price. Right now, but you can't complain because right now you get the Series S for, I mean, they have one used at GameStop, and the manager say to some guy he had one for $239. And this guy bought one. And, he bought it for his kid. He's like, yeah, give me that. Give me the Game Pass for 90 days. Because I guess he doesn't know it comes with, I think, 30 days or something like that of Game Pass on the house by Microsoft. Maybe it's 30 days or it's 7 days. But my point to you is that it's just this hypocrisy, and they are just on Front Street with it. It's like the Activision deal. These guys are on Front Street just being hypocrites. Like, they are lying. I mean, I just can't believe, like, damn, they are just lying. They say they won't pull games off, and then the CMA was like, you've already done it. You've already pulled Starfield off. You've already pulled Elder Scrolls off. You've already pulled Outer Worlds. So don't come in here and tell us you won't do something that we can go back and see you already done. Jesus. I mean, and these guys, and literally what it comes down to is that they do believe that if Microsoft doesn't get this deal done, that they're not going to be able to compete at all with Sony. That's what this has come down to. Yeah, James Gunn, thank you very much. I couldn't say I'm an old man, and after what happened to me this morning, man on fire over here. I am the man on fire. So, it is what it is. So, yeah, James Gunn went to DC, if you don't know that, went to Warner Brothers. But again, back to the whole purchasing thing, you all got to ask yourself what makes more sense, and don't fanboy out about it. I think it makes more sense for Sony to buy WB because there's content there that they could make TV shows off of. They ain't buying no Cdprojectred Red. So, but look, it wouldn't shock me if they did, because nothing shocks me, but I would be very surprised if they bought Cdprojectred Red. Like, surprised like hell. So, well, let's see what's up in the chat. Corey Massey, how are you doing, brother? Corey Massey, technically Microsoft hasn't removed any games from PlayStation. Elder Scrolls, they did. And Outer Worlds, yeah, they did. That is true. It's up to Corey Massey, though. Always a pleasure having you in the chat. So, let's see here. But yeah, technically, Corey's right. Very technically, he's right. So, but barely. So, let's see here. That's me in the house. How's Microsoft allowed to get away with taking Bethesda games away from PlayStation? Well, they become the parent company and they can do whatever they want. So that's why they can get away with it. You can make the argument, and they didn't take all the games. They just took like 2 or 3. So I guess in theory, could Sony buy Capcom and then they pull some Capcom games? Yes, they could. They could. But they won't, because part of the deal, I'm telling you, would be Capcom wouldn't let them. What's up, Eric? Virgil in the house, what's happening? Twitter is more moist than, oh my God, true Virgil. They are moister than Duncan Hines. I'm telling you, they like that white thing, the Pillsbury Doughboy, when you hit it in its stomach and it makes that, that's how moist they are. Because he talks about how moist his cake is. These dudes are moist. So, yeah, great movie, Man on Fire. Fantastic movie, by the way. Man on Fire, he was John Wick. Everybody's talking about John Wick. No. Man on Fire, Denzel Washington, one of the best movies ever made. They stole a lot of the John Wick stuff comes from Man on Fire. So, the Elder Scrolls Outer Worlds haven't been released on any platform yet. That is true, but they are taking those games away. What's up, D-Nice41? So, it is effed up, how this stuff gets going on. And you got these moist ass ponies out here complaining about Sony putting games on PC, and they go something like, "Well, they don't have a whole lot of users on this game." So what? So what? Everything that those people buying the game is 100% profit for them. They don't care. Like, these games are just sitting here doing nothing, but games go to PC, and these fanboys, they don't have nothing to use in their little console war, and it's ridiculous. At this point, it's ridiculous. So Microsoft will technically delay everything until they have bought every publisher to figure it out. I don't think they can afford any more delays, honestly. They do, however, I think at the gaming show that Jeff Keighley has, I think you will see at least 3 to 5 Microsoft first-party games. I think you'll see the driving game Forza Motorsports. I think you'll see Avowed. I think we'll see, I do think they're going to get Alien Harvest or something like that. I think they've got that game. Else are they going to get show? They're going to show Hellblade 2. We haven't seen that in over a year and a half. And we may possibly get Perfect Dark. I think those are the games that they're going to show, which is fine, by the way. So the ponies are running wild as far as short as a glue. Well, I think they sniffed the glue. I think that's what's happened with a lot of them. So, yeah, ultimately the games are on the PC. The founders of Rocksteady just left WB to do something else. I think, Corey, because there's a purchase incoming. But I did see that. It was a very good catch by Corey Massey. A lot of people didn't see that. Yeah, that is true. I mean, everybody's looking at Callisto Protocol like, damn. Like, damn. That game is, I mean, like I said, day and date for me. So the Xbox hypocrisy literally is, we don't care what Microsoft has to do to stay afloat with Xbox. So whatever they have to do, we're just going to accept, okay? Like I said, it's just they're not even going to look up and see whose cock's in their mouth. They're just whoever pulls it out, they're going to take it. That's just who they are. All right? That's who the Xbox community is. And you don't have to respond to them. I mean, them writing letters to the CMA, that's like a Dear John letter. They're writing Dear John letters. So, but we'll move to the last story. I got to put the camera on for this one, because it is time for the man on fire. So, let's see here. The anti-consumerism of Sony. So let me go here and video capture device. All right. Add a little bit there. There we go. Let me move my stick. There's that. All right. So, here's what happened to me this morning. Sony is anti-consumer as hell. I get woken up at 9 o'clock in the morning by Sony. There's this giant Sony thing in my room. All right? It drags me out of the bed in my tidy whities with a stain on them and my Winnie the Pooh pajama shirt with a hole in it. They drag me out of my place. They drag me down the street. Grown ass man just imagine that. You go get your cup of coffee, you listen to your morning drive program, and you see a grown ass black man being absolutely pulled down the street in his underwear and in his Winnie the Pooh t-shirt. It is a true Winnie the Pooh. Now it got 2 holes in it. How you gonna do that to a man? And this is the Sony people doing this. It's this giant Sony sign dragging me down the street. And I'm fighting and like, man, get up off of me. What are you doing? I'm screaming. You know what? I'm yelling Black Lives Matter. No, but anti-consumerism is in full effect. Full effect. dragging me out of bed, dragging me down the street, drug me into Best Buy. All right? The Sony drug me into Best Buy. And when it drug me into Best Buy, it forced me to buy something. You know, I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice because Sony was being anti-consumer, right? They forced me to buy something. And I didn't want to do it. Even though the young lady rung me up, she couldn't believe I was there in my drawers. I barely had shoes. I had one shoe on. You know, my one green slipper, right? You know, got the scars on my elbow and coming all the way up here. You know, my arm still hurts getting drugged like this. And here's what they forced me to buy. Being anti-consumer. Here's what they forced me to buy today. Let me get it for you. I can't believe this. They're anti-consumer. Can't believe they forced me to buy. Do this. They forced me to buy that. They forced me. I had no choice. The Sony sign said, you're going to buy this and you're going to buy this right now. And I had to buy it. I mean, you all don't understand how it's like to be forced to buy something like this. It is open box too. It was sold for cheap. And they gave me an extra $10 off because the screws, you know, the screws in my TV didn't come with my TV. It's anti-consumer as hell. I mean, here I am, grown-ass man, 10:30 in the morning. Tighty whities. Winnie the Pooh shirt on. With a hole. My Winnie the Pooh shirt has a hole here and has a hole here. So, and I'm sitting up there being forced to buy this. All right, I mean, this is it. This is the Pulse 3D headset. What is this? The headsets. Fine-tuned for 3D audio on PS5 consoles. That's what it is. And Sony drugged me out of bed. I had no choice. They're anti-consumer. I pulled out, they made me pull out my card and slide the card into the slot. And then they rung up. And then they forced me to sign. Now I want you to understand, I'm standing there, no drawers on, and I got on the tighty whities. I don't have on briefs. You know, I got the day off. It was tighty whitey Friday, right? And I just, you know, and oh, they weren't done with me. They weren't done with me. So I then go ahead and I try to get away. You know, I'm fighting. You know, like boom, boom, pow. You know, I landed a couple blows, but then the Sony sign drugged me out of Best Buy with this in my hand in a bag, a clear bag, because Best Buy always gives you clear bags because they think you're trying to steal from them. Ain't nobody gonna steal something from Best Buy. And they weren't done with me. The anti-consumerism continued. They took me across the street because I live in a hub. And then here's what else they forced me to buy today. I mean, this is ridiculous. You get this. Are you ready? You're not going to believe this. I mean, I was forced to buy this. So they forced me to buy this because they're anti-consumer. And watch this. You're not going to believe it. Drum roll. They forced me to buy Modern Warfare. They know I got the B2. I got forced to buy this at GameStop. I mean, it was horrible being anti-consumer like this. Like, I had no choice but to buy this. None whatsoever. Tighty whities and everything. My tighty whities are just ruined, being drugged down the street. Now I got more stains in my tighty whities. But look at it, folks. That's what anti-consumerism looks like. Being forced to buy things. I was forced to do this. And I blame King Thrash and I blame Sick Humor because I can't even post in their Discord. So I blame them. I mean, look at this. I mean, this is ridiculous. Look at it. The B2. I don't understand. They forced me to buy this. And it came with this thing here. I don't even know what this is. So, but it's some dude with a skull or something like that. So I got forced to buy that. So, I mean, what are we doing here? You know, I mean, like I said, they're anti-consumer as hell. I can't believe it. You know, these anti-consumer practices that they do is not fair for people like me that are PO. And I was forced to buy this. You know, it was ridiculous. So I mean, again, I don't know what to do. You know, I can't return it because then they'll just drag me out of bed again to go buy it again. Because it's anti-consumer. Because as a consumer, I didn't have a choice but to buy this. You know, it's not like you all have a choice. I didn't have a choice. But you all have a choice. I didn't have that choice. So you all make sure you do what you're supposed to do. Because my back is still hurting. My knee hurts. My elbow hurts. My arm, my finger hurts for having to slide this into the thing to go ahead and get this. How dare they force me out of my own bed and drag me down the street like I had no choice in it at all. As a consumer, you're right, I should sue. I should sue for being forced to buy this stuff. Because I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. As a consumer, I have no choice. You know, I mean, look at this. Look at this beautiful headset right here I got. But I was forced to buy, that's still series. I was forced to buy the PlayStation. Forced to buy it. You know, and you know, and no remorse. They said thank you for your service, like Cal Ling did in Mass Effect 3. Cerberus thanks you for your service. I mean, they didn't even offer me nothing. Like, they could at least drug me to Target so I could get some new drawers. They didn't even do that. So here I am, had to get on the bus with tidy whities in this bag. Ride the bus across the bridge. The bus driver looking at me like, what the hell? That's what we're talking about here. Anti-consumerism, being forced to buy things. How dare they do this? Oh, and this, by the way, this was only $65 out of box. And they forced me to buy it. I mean, you know, that was my morning. So I don't want to hear about your kids being bad. I don't want to hear about, oh, I don't know how we're going to pay the rent or the mortgage this month. You ain't felt nothing until you get drugged out of your own bed by a Sony sign, blinking, by the way. I have no idea how the sign was blinking because it had, I don't know where it got the power from. Maybe it has 12 T-flops in there. So, and then being forced to buy things like this. I mean, forced. You know, I mean, that's my life. Being forced to buy things like this. And like I said, I blame Sick Humor and King Thrash. That's who I blame them. I blame all of them. I blame the whole round table for letting me get drug out there like that. It's everybody else's fault. It's not my fault. You know, I'm like, so I'm like a millennial. None of it's not my fault. It's not my fault. So, I mean, what do we do here? I can't, I mean, you know, I ain't even finished the first Modern Warfare yet. And that game takes 1,000 gigs of my PlayStation. I mean, it eats up space, especially when it updates, which I had no idea what it's updating because the game is, I don't know, 3 years old. So they didn't know true version, no wipes, no nothing. They could at least drug me to Target across the street. I mean, the only thing that really saved me was the fact that I can run. You know, I can run like Walter Payton, the late great Walter Payton. I ran down the street, one shoe on, got in the house, drank me some bourbon, fired up the podcast. That's my morning in a nutshell. So I already have a dongle in there from the other one. Yeah. Yeah, Sony is just evil, and they're mean, they're anti-consumer. Because they forced me to buy something against my will. I'm like, wait a minute, but Sony, I'm gonna buy God of War next week. Well, yes, you are. And that's what it said to me. And then after that, you gonna buy Callisto Protocol 2, boy. That's what it said. You know, so now I gotta go buy that. But I told him, look, you're gonna have me being broke, and I'm gonna have to have a dono war. And are you all prepared for a dono war? I mean, we're gonna have to do one next week after I recover. I mean, this is terrible. I mean, Nova Red is here in the chat. Imagine your husband, your significant other, okay? Your significant other, you know, getting drug out of bed like that. I mean, you lose respect for him. You lose respect for him. So, I mean, again, this is just anti-consumerism at the point. You break up with them. I can't be with somebody who gets drug out of bed in their tighty whities and their Winnie the Pooh t-shirt. You know, it's bad enough you already wear that stuff. Now the whole world knows, because you know, it'll be on social media. It'll be on what's it called, Top Ticky, or whatever you kids are using now, Periscope. You know, just look for that. So, yeah, buy the games. I mean, pretty much. But I didn't want to buy them. Okay? It's terrible. Well, for all I know, Xbox was doing it. But somebody needs to do something, because this is anti-consumerism. You know, when you're forced to buy something. I'm like, well, can I buy it digital? No. No. I mean, it is what it is. That's why Nova Red's laughing. You know, how dare Sony be anti-consumer and make games like Forbidden West and God of War and Gran Turismo, and, you know, give me a 120 hertz option, the remake of The Last of Us. How dare they do that? How dare they force me to want to be in their ecosystem? AP Local, was I in Best Buy in my tidy whities? Maybe they gave me the Modern Warfare. They get me to leave. Well, the Modern Warfare, that was from GameStop. I got drugged 2 places. Then I had to get on bus 13 in my tidy whities, and the driver was like, "God damn, boy, what happened to you?" Yeah, Sony gives us content which is pro-consumer. Sony makes a system which is pro-consumer because we have a right to consume it or not. Microsoft does the same thing. You have the absolute right to buy it or not buy it. Neither one of these companies is anti-consumer. It's just a new word that people like. It's the new word of rage. And then the same people that say they're being anti-consumer get upset when they don't get review codes. Fuck out of here. So, I mean, seriously. Shout out to BitCloud. He talked about Insomniac and what they're working on, and he's convinced that one of those games is something called Resistance. Now, I never played Resistance because I had a 360, and that was on the Xbox. I'm sorry, Resistance was on the PS3. I had a 360. So Resistance was one of those games I did not play. I didn't play Metal Gear Guns of the Patriots either. And those are the 2 Xbox or PlayStation games that I really, when I saw them, I really would like to play those. Yeah, this fella a bit strange, but he got money. So, Rudy Legends, man. I may have to have a dono war, man. If who wants to participate in a dono war? So, I mean, I won't have it until it's time for Callisto Protocol, which is just something else is getting made that's on the PlayStation that I'm being forced to buy. Bots think games are anti-consumer. It wouldn't shock me if they did. So yeah, apparently, shout out to Big Cloud. He does believe that one of the games coming is. They even had, now the only thing it didn't make me buy was the Call of Duty T-shirts. They were $20. And I'm like, okay, if those were like $9, I'm pretty sure Sony would have forced me to buy one of those too. That's just the way it is. Sony got here in the, yeah, they did. They drugged me out there, Corey. Had me out there in the streets, making me buy stuff. Because I didn't have a choice. Sony just, I had no choice to buy those headsets. The protocol going to be incredible. Let's hope. Did you all see the trailer for Spoken? Transversal trailer they had? That looked effing phenomenal. That game looks so much better than what it used to. Looking forward to it. Olomoko says Guns of Patriots is your fourth greatest game of all time. Yeah, I didn't play it though. I mean, I don't. There's no doubt that it's a great game. But it's sad. At this point, the bots are hypocrites. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Their prices are going up, but what it comes down to for them is that, I heard people saying that Microsoft was supposed to be the good guys in gaming. How? By making a $500 console and not providing no content? How is that good? I mean, somebody make it make sense. It makes no sense to me. I mean, seriously, that console came out 2 years too soon. Or at least a year. To me, that the X shit that came out till last year. Post Up is crying. What's Post Up talking about, Paul Game? You all do know that Sony can go ahead and make that game, keep that game on their platform. I don't know if they will. Hell, they got a 2-year thing on it. I thought it was just 1 year. They actually have a 2-year thing on it. So, Final Fantasy 16 got them. Yeah, I mean, I'm buying that. I mean, if people were saying, all these ponies, remember them saying, we don't know what Sony's going to do. We don't have nothing. I mean, ultimately, they had nothing to talk about. And it was just like, well, you have to wait for them to make announcements. I mean, they were saying this stuff in August. Like, damn, dude, it's August. Callisto Protocol needs to explain why it's $60 for PC, but $70 for PlayStation 5. Yeah, I don't know how the pricing market works. You know how you make Callisto Protocol cheaper? Trade something in on it. That's how you make it. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to trade in Horizon Zero Dawn because I can get it digitally. Like, I can download Horizon Zero Dawn anytime I want. And even with the digital download on PlayStation, it comes with the 60 patch. Now, it's 4K 60, but it's in medium graphics. So maybe Epic has a sale, because I want to buy a game on my PC. Only games I've been playing on my PC are out of Game Pass. I've not purchased anything. Well, DCS. So Sony won't shoot a game. Yeah, I'm gonna sue Sony for making products that I want. You don't trade your games in, even if you have access to them digitally. I understand. Look, I'm a physical collector. Okay, look. I'm just being facetious here. You all know that didn't happen to me, right? I got up this morning just like you did, drank some orange juice, took 2 Tylenols because I'm an old man and I'm sore all the time. Plus, I have a younger girlfriend. I'm sure you can imagine what that's like. So, or maybe you can't, but let's just say little mama likes to wear black 90s, okay? Especially around Halloween. How do you think I look? There's the nerve to ask me that. So, shout out to everybody, the new subs, by the way. Sony buying Cdprojectred Red. It's just a rumor. I just don't take nothing into it. the same. If it makes any difference, the same guy says Sony was buying Embracer Group. The same guy says Sony was buying Ubisoft. We know it's not true, so it's not true. Not true. Only purchase collector's edition that have digital codes. Yeah, maybe it was Kratos and drug me. No, realistically, I went to the store and spent money. I shouldn't have bought the game. But I shout out to Lincoln Clay when he flat told me it's the best looking game he's ever seen. Now, granted, he ran it on PC. I think he's got a 490. What kind of Lincoln? What kind of CPU do you have? If you're still listening, if you can put that in. Also, I heard some other people lying to you, other content creators talking about how the PC gaming is really expensive. It's not if you understand what you have to buy and you know when to buy it. So you don't have to have the best. I've got an SSD here that costs $49.99, 500 gig SSD, Samsung. So you can get memory. The memory is getting. That's what's expensive right now. I'm going to get new memory, but I'm getting the highest tier memory I can get, and it's going to be LED. That's $100, but I'm not getting that till next month. So, but you can get a case for about $39.99. You can, and I don't want to hear that you can't. You can get a case for about $39.99. You can get a good motherboard for about $149. So you're right there. You're at about $200. Don't let these guys. I mean, I'm sick and tired of these content creators. They just lie. Just lie. So, but that's where you start, okay? Because you have to have the case to put your PC in. You have to have the motherboard to put your parts on, and then you go to the power source. Go to the power source. The rats and the plague tail. Not the rats. That's why dudes are invading tweets like the rats. Yeah, I mean they are. That's why it's best just to block. You all know Elon Musk is now in charge of Twitter, right? He took over it's been more than 9 hours. I say it's been about 15 hours ago. So he's in charge of Twitter now. So a lot of people that have had their accounts blocked they're coming back. Yes, PC gaming is more expensive than console gaming on the front end, but on the back end, it's not. I agree with you, it is. Here's a 490, there you go. See, that does what the PS5 can do for $500. I don't disagree with that. Yeah, you're paying for the convenience, but you're also locked in. But I agree with you for what. Let me make this clear. For what the Xbox Series consoles can do and what the PS5s can do at that price is effing amazing. It is amazing on both of them. Sony, however, has been able to leverage their technology faster. Xbox is trying to, but they have the bottleneck issue. Now, the second party games and things like that, those games a lot of those games do look and run better on Xbox, but not as much as people thought. So, but yeah. I think he does have the 490, but you don't have to get a 490. I heard somebody say the 490 is $1,600. You don't have to get one. And again, you got to remember that the consoles are made by AMD. So what you want to look for, and honestly, is the 6700 XT or the 6800 XT. That's what you want to look for as your GPU. Okay? So that's where you look at. Your CPU, however, that's tricky because with Zen, just like with RDNA 2, Zen is incredibly efficient. So don't get caught up in something having 6 cores versus something having 8 cores. Something that has 6 cores, especially if it's a later technology or a newer technology, go with the newer technology. So guys, I mean, don't get caught up in it. A friend of mine has the Series S. He does it. It's for 1080p, ultra high graphic settings, 60 frames. That's what he wanted. He's happy, but he's married, and that thing looks like nothing. I don't even know if his wife know he has it yet because it doesn't look like nothing. So, Xbox Series works on snake oil. That's not a bad console. It's just hopefully they can leverage it. You can add 10 years of PS Plus. Yeah, you can. Yes, at 1100, you still be hard pressed about a PC. Oh, well, again, you're buying the PC to say one step ahead. 3950X, 60. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you don't, yeah. 16 cores and 32 threads. Are you running a business? I mean, that's a little excessive for a gaming PC, but you went big. I get it. Go big or go home. I totally understand it. So my whole thing though, Corey, is that don't be scared to look into gaming on PC. Start yourself with like a 2070 or something like that, or a 3060. But you know, that's NVIDIA. You can wait for the Intel stuff to mature, or you can go ahead and buy AMD stuff. Now, I recommend AMD stuff. That's just me. Oh, just you're in development, great for Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You all fell in love with Unreal Engine 5, even though that game was 30 frames per second. See what I'm saying? So that game, remember the Unreal 5 demo, the girl flying around, that was 30 FPS. Y'all forgot about that, didn't you? It was also 1440p. Now, granted, it was that 1440p was super sampled down, I think, from 4K. But you know, I love the fact that people they tend to forget about these things. And that demo was still the best demo I've ever seen in my life. I literally sat there and my jaw was on the ground. Like, I could not believe what I saw. So that is dangerous. True Virgil said he thought the story I was saying was real. Oh my goodness, True Virgil. Supposed to be having ribs on the Barbie down there in Australia. So, but yeah, so what are you guys playing right now? I still haven't looked at The Last of Us. I still haven't looked. I'm gonna kill me. I still haven't looked because I'm afraid to, because then I'll never get up and leave the dining room, the living room. So, well, Sergeant 12, you said you're in the game development. Do you think it's unfair for people to criticize the devs of Gotham Knights? Yeah, I agree, Corey. Corey's right. Gaming on PC is expensive on the front end, but the sales that you get, I'm sure, Corey, you would agree with the sales that you get, you can actually come out ahead. It may take you some months, though. So, the post-up will cry when Sony shows KOTOR again. Yeah, that's coming up. Don't be shocked. I mean, we should see KOTOR and possibly Jedi. Is it Survivor? Because that's coming out in like 6 months. So that's what it is. ID at Xbox had a bunch of new starving developers. Didn't Xbox, however, lay people off? So you gotta, people talking about the revenue of Game Pass, people don't understand, okay, what was the target revenue? Obviously, they didn't hit the numbers. That's what the big deal is. Didn't Xbox lay off like 1,000 people? Blacks at Xbox, did they get laid off? Remember that? Blacks at Xbox. So, yeah, they paid Ninja a king's ransom, and people did switch over. They did see a bump in Mixer. I liked Mixer. To me, they just gave up on it. 12 teabags, yeah. Yeah, and for what the PlayStation does, but what are you guys playing? I'm trying to switch it over here. We're gonna get on out of here. I've been here for an hour and a half. You're playing RE versus Overwatch 2, Cult of the Lamb. Okay, cool. About the night, you still believe they could have gotten 60 mode, but they more likely had a deadline and made a choice. Yeah, I agree. I think they had a deadline and possibly money. And people don't think about that. I understand the speculation. I agree with you. Yeah, I understand you're speculating. So, Sony has been pretty consistent. Sales it really comes down to how many games you are buying and when you buy them. That's true. That is true. But PC gaming, you know, you can do the CD keys and stuff like that and get stuff that's normally 60 at 39, stuff like that, or 46. So that is good. Gonna buy PC for sure. 100%. Buy games on sales. Claim Epic free games every Thursday. That is true as well. Yeah, Epic had that what the Tomb Raider game, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That was free. Shout out to CRU Foundation over letting me know that. And that game is gorgeous, at least on my PC. I mean, I had ray tracing running on that game. Now, granted, if I turned on ray tracing, I had the frames would drop to 30. And that's because that's why I keep saying these consoles are closer to like an AMD 6600 XT, you know, than anything. The way they're performing, I mean, let me make that clear, okay? And remember, the 3060 is roughly what the AMD is as well. So that's the way they're performing. But it's early; they'll squeeze more out of the orange. YouTube and Twitch exploded while Mixer grew by only 0.2. Yeah, I mean, Mixer was done to take on both YouTube and Twitch, and it didn't work out. It didn't work out. That's why when Sony got their hands on Discord, they're like, "Oh no, everybody can still use Discord." Because it's like, yeah, you're using it right now. We'll just integrate it in. It may take some time, but they're doing. So, but don't be afraid to look into gaming on PC. Just remember that you either have a choice. You can stay a generation and a half behind, or not. Like I need to get an upgrade on my CPU. So that's my next step is upgrading the CPU. But I'll look for that Black Friday or something like that. I do want either a 2700X that'll give me 8 cores, or the 3600, which I believe is 6 cores, but it's Zen 3. Nova says her man playing UFC 4 on PS5 on easy. Well, I'm sure he's trying to learn the controllers. So, what are you playing, Nova? Nova, are you playing Mass Effect? Nova, are you a Mass Effect gamer? Or have him play Mass Effect, see how he likes it. He may not. Microsoft tried to buy Slack for $28 billion and TikTok for all of them. Yeah, they've always been trying to add stuff. Always been trying to add stuff. But guys, I'm gonna get on off here. It's 3:00. I'm sure there's more interesting people to watch. It is Friday though, so everybody have a good Friday. Have a good weekend. I got to work tomorrow, so I'm training somebody, and you got some good college football games. Let's make our picks today. You know, for entertainment purposes only. Let's make our picks here. Game day is actually at a HBCU this weekend. Go figure it. Go figure it out. There. Now tonight we can make some money tonight. Oh no, that was last night. I'm so sorry. Got East Carolina at BYU. I would take BYU to cover. Now tomorrow at noon, let's get your money ready now. Ohio State at Penn State. This is the way I'm reading this. 12 noon tomorrow. Take Penn State to cover not to win, to cover. All right. Notre Dame at Syracuse. Stay away from that one. Arkansas, Auburn. Take Arkansas straight up. Florida, Georgia. Take Georgia. Take Georgia straight up. Wake Forest, Louisville. Take Louisville to cover, not to win. Stay away from Oklahoma State and K-State. Kentucky, Tennessee, I would stay away from that one too. USC and Arizona, take USC to cover. Michigan State, Michigan, wow. That's the ABC 7:30 game. Take Michigan to cover that one. And that I would stay away from the rest of it though. That's a nice little parlay I gave you though, okay? Go ahead and make a little money on that. Go out a little liquor for your boy. So, all right then, guys. You all have a good one. I appreciate you coming. It was all tongue-in-cheek about Sony being anti-consumer. They're not anti-consumer. They actually make stuff for us to buy. And as long as they keep making things for us to buy, they're pro-consumer because we have a choice. And that's the most pro-consumer things can do is, you have a choice. So, all right, guys. I will talk to you later. You all have a good one. I'll talk to you Sunday morning. Peace out.